Okay, so the Nuobells are my favorite adjustable dumbbell of all time. I have a pair, and yes, I admire them like a proud father every day. But listen, man, I know that they are expensive, and right now, companies like MOTV8 are trying to make cheaper versions of the same thing, essentially budget-friendly Nuobells. It's a fine idea overall, but sometimes it doesn't work out so well. So the real question is, are the Omnibells worth it, or are you going to regret going for the cheaper option? Today we're going to find out. Let's get to the review. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Chris. This is Strength and Steel Reviews. I'm a certified personal trainer that reviews home gym equipment through the lens of someone who actually trains and trains often. So the question that I ask isn't necessarily, is this good, or even, is this well engineered, especially since I'm not an engineer, but instead what I'm asking is, does this belong in your home gym? Does it belong in your training? And what purpose will it actually serve in your home gym? Because that's what this channel is really about, helping home gym owners get better results with home gym equipment. And these Omnibells, to me, are a tool. Adjustable dumbbells in general are very useful tools. But ultimately, the set that you decide upon should reflect your training style and, of course, your preferences. I have mine, you will have yours, whether you know it or not. So make sure you study, you learn, and you decide for yourself. Just listen to people, but you make that decision. This is your money. Now I'll say this right up front. If you're interested in durability first in your adjustable dumbbells, I would pass on these things. You're gonna wanna look toward Ironmaster, Eisenlink, or even Power Blocks if toughness is the #1 priority. But if you're more interested in a speedy adjustment system and you don't drop your adjustable dumbbells too often, then yeah, stick around. Oh, and before we get any further, MOTV8 did send these to me for free. They did, but they haven't steered me in any way, which, as I said before, and will continue to say in every review that I do moving forward, is the only way that I agree to review any equipment. I don't like being directed in any way. This thing is hard enough as it is. Anyway, if you do find yourself interested by the end of this video, there's an affiliate link below in the description and a code to get you some money off. I'm not sure how much, but there you go, do as you wish. Okay, let's get the price out of the way first. The Omnibells come in at $650 at the time of this video. And they come in all kinds of cool colors if you care about that kind of thing. I purchased the American flag version because of the happy state of political affairs today. Now, comparatively, the Nuobell 80s come in around $750 to $800 depending on where you cache them, which would mean that you're saving between $100 and $150, which is certainly not nothing, but just keep that number as we proceed further into the review. Now the Omnibells, which continue to remind me of the show Invincible, go from 11 to 80 pounds in 2.2 pound incremental jumps, which is wild and probably the coolest part about these dumbbells. That makes them terrific for drop sets, for rest pause sets, and of course, for progressive overload in general. Smaller jumps like this are fine and beautiful things if you're big into adjustable dumbbell training, which I certainly am. Now I will say some people complain about the length of time that it generally takes to adjust from something like 11 to 80 pounds or for 5 to 100 pounds on the Nuobells, but if you do actually train, that's just not something you do all that often. Most of the time, you're adjusting somewhere near the middle or near your previous weight at least, especially if you're performing drop sets, which for me, I'm doing quite often. And if you are dropping the weight to perform something like lateral raises, yeah, it's gonna take a short period of time, but it's not a big deal. You have a home gym. This is what we do. Now, I will say I'm not a fan of the split units here. One side of these dumbbells is kilograms, the other side is pounds. I deal with it on my TrueLab, so no, it's not the end of the world. But as an American, yeah, it's a little annoying having to check both sides just to confirm the weight. From a marketing standpoint, I get it, but from a user standpoint, from an American standpoint, it's just not ideal. But of course, the way that you adjust the dumbbells just so happens to be the best way to adjust the dumbbells. A wrist style adjustment system, the same as the Nuobells, of course. Now to me, this is where the Nuobells are just better, both objectively and subjectively. In theory, the systems are very similar, but in practice, the adjustment on the Omnibells just isn't as crisp. It feels like a little sloppy. You don't get that same satisfying, authoritative click that you do with the Nuobells. There is a click, but it's quieter, more of a murmur, like they're trying to hide something from you. Not that they are, but you do need to be a bit more precise when you're setting the weight. If the number isn't lined up cleanly in the window, there's a good chance the dumbbell will try to pick up that adder plate, which is super annoying. So if you're using these, just make sure the number is properly set within that little window before removing the dumbbell, or you're gonna have to reseat it and try again. Now, if you're familiar with the system from Nuobell, you know how it works. Essentially, there's a rod that extends from the center and into the weight stack, locking the plates together. It's what allows for a quick adjustment system, and it's also what ultimately allows for some kind of fragility. Now, when I first put these things together, I had some trouble. As you probably saw in some of the earlier B-roll, the plates fell off when I was doing a press, and they continue to fall off in subsequent exercises. But it turns out that was because I actually assembled them incorrectly. It didn't have anything to do with the adjustable dumbbell. So let me show you quickly. Here's a video that MOTV8 actually sent me to help correct this issue.
So when you install your dumbbell, just make sure it's black, green, all the way down, so you're not installing them upside down, the plates.
So that's how they should have been set up. If you get them, that's how you should set them up. Mine were a sloppy mess, and so when I went to use them, yeah, they fell off and it was scary. When they were set properly, I did not have this issue, and it should be noted, their customer service was and remains fantastic. They were patient, they were kind, and they were helpful, which are all things that I personally appreciate and of course respect. All that said, these dumbbells, the Omnibells, are not designed to be dropped. They're just not. The Omnibells are not invincible. But to their credit, the Omnibells do come with a 4-year warranty, which is longer than most. You also get a one-time replacement for accidental drops, plus the option to extend coverage for another 3 years if you so wish. But in general, within this review and outside of it, as you consider other adjustable dumbbells, I would ask you to consider how often you actually drop your adjustable dumbbells, or dumbbells in general. Likely, for most of you at least, you don't drop them at all, or at least not often. But if it does happen to you often accidentally, then again, Omnibells are probably not the option for you. But if it happens very rarely and it's happened before and you're a little worried, it does seem like MOTV8 has got your back here. Okay, let's talk about the handle. Now, I don't like how small this handle it is. It's like 4 inches, and guys with larger hands are probably going to feel a little bit restricted. So if you're a big dude, you might want to look elsewhere. For me, it's pretty manageable. I'm an average dude, I'm 5'9", normal sized hands, but ideally, even me, I would want a little bit more room to work with here. And the knurling on the handle is a bit too passive overall. It's not bad, it's just not very grippy. I don't generally have an issue with passive knurling. I really don't. I'm not a knurling snob. But the knurling here just feels kind of cheap, and so does the cradle. The cradle is this lightweight plastic that creaks and groans every time you rack and unrack the dumbbells. And overall, the plastic internals, I don't like that. There's a lot of plastic on here. These are not constructed with the same sturdy, reliable construction as something like the Nuobells. They just aren't. These are way cheaper, but they feel cheaper to me too, and I don't like that. Perhaps that's unavoidable. I would imagine that it might be. Again, I am no engineer. What do I know? Also, the stand that the Omnibells are on was provided to me by MOTV8, and let me tell you, the instructions were bare bones and god awful. If you know me and you've spent any time on this channel, you know I hate difficult instructions. They were so vague, they did not help me. And I'm still not sure that I did this correctly, because every time I take the dumbbells off, it seems like the cradle wants to join them. So that can't be right. All right, so final thoughts. These are not Nuobells. That much I will say definitively. They are a budget-friendly alternative, and if that extra $100 to $150 is outside of your budget, then yeah, these are worth considering. The 2.2 pound incremental jumps are undeniably awesome, and though it's a little clunky, the wrist style adjustment system is also still awesome. I will take that in whatever form I can get it. It's also nice that they come in a variety of colors. I mean that. They have a lot of personality. This American flag resonates. But if you can afford the Nuobells, go with the Nuobells. They are better made, the adjustment system is sharper, the construction is more refined, and overall, they just feel better to train with. I'm glad I got to try these, and I consider them a distant cousin of my steel children, but they're just not the same. Oh, and a quick heads up, I've started personal training online. If you're a home gym owner specifically with limited time, limited equipment, you finally want to get results from it, you can work with me one-on-one. You can schedule a consultation with me below using the link in the description. That is where my heart lies. I'm a personal trainer, and I love working with other people, either online or in person, to help improve their health. And of course, maximize their time. Otherwise, like the video to support the almighty algorithm, subscribe for more honest reviews by a dad that is unhealthily addicted to exercise and of course wellness, and you stay strong and you stay steely, and I'll catch you in the next one. Adios.